I just watched Inside Out 2, so here's my spoiler-free thoughts on all the best and worst parts of the movie. This movie still follows Riley, but we're growing up a little bit. She's about to go to high school, and then puberty strikes, which brings in a bunch of new emotions into the movie. I gotta say, I absolutely loved all the new emotions in this film. I think they all added a great dynamic to the existing ones, and it also just makes the movie more relatable for all ages to watch and connect with this film, because yes, us humans are more advanced in the 5 basic emotions we saw in the first movie, so adding in these new ones really adds a new depth of layer into this film. Anxiety is the MVP character of this entire movie, in my opinion. Not only is Maya Hawke amazing as the voice of this character, it also is just a great representation of anxiety in a film. Yes, this is a common trope. We even see jokes about it all the time, saying, oh, what new animated kids movie is going to have a character having a panic attack and tons of anxiety? So it seems like something that we've seen all the time lately, but this was a really fresh and honestly realistic portrayal of how anxiety feels. Outside of anxiety, the other new emotions in this movie are way more of just side or even background characters. Like, they have a couple lines each, and some of them are really good or funny, but for the most part, they're just kind of in the background. Although the emotion of embarrassment here all the way on the far right did have some really great moments in this film that I really appreciated. While I'm on the talk of all the emotion characters, Sadness is the most improved player in this one for sure, because in the first movie, I understand it's the point of her character, but I'm sorry, she was just so unsufferable. She just pissed me off in every single thing she did. In this movie, she has a lot less to do because of the new emotions coming in that takes away a lot of screen time from her, which I was very thankful for, but she also does actually have some good moments in her screen time. She had a huge redemption in my opinion, because like I said, I was just so annoyed with her in that first one. This film also kind of takes us outside of the head of Riley and seeing her more in real life with her friends and going through this whole hockey camp thing, which is where all these emotions are kind of attacking her. I really appreciated this angle of the film, getting to see a lot more of Riley in real life and how the emotions inside her head affect her rather than just purely focusing on the emotions that are in her head. And all the other classic emotions are still great in this movie. I did not mind the recast to Disgust and Fear's voice actors at all. I thought they fit in naturally. Boy is still great, even though she does, like I said, takes a little bit more of a backseat in this film to kind of Riley and anxiety. She is still one of the main characters, and once again, great. The first Inside Out by no means looked bad or outdated by any means. It's only 9 years old. You can definitely tell the advancements in technology, because I do think this movie does look way better. It's a lot more colorful, and it was just a really good visual looking film in the theaters. Perhaps one of the biggest positives of this movie for me is it is absolutely hilarious and way funnier than the first film, in my opinion. Like, all the jokes were just landing for me. Like, there's one scene where a bunch of emotions stumble upon a vault of old characters from Riley's past, and it is just super entertaining. All those characters have some funny lines and just moments. There's also just a lot of those meta jokes like we enjoyed in the first one, like when Riley uses sarcasm in real life, it opens up a sarcasm in the movie. When they're brainstorming from ideas, it actually makes a thunderstorm, and again, that was something that I thought looked really good visually, and it's just a funny joke. I will say, anxiety and embarrassment in this movie definitely make you feel the secondhand embarrassment from some of the things. There are just some straight up cringy moments of Riley just messing up in this film. While I really appreciated the humor in this film, it definitely is a big trade-off, because you don't get as many of those emotional moments, and when you do get them, they don't hit as deep, even though we're dealing with some more honestly serious and more realistic emotions in this film. It's not to say there's not any good emotional moments in this film. Like, the end of the film has a very good conclusion. It is heartwarming. It wasn't getting me to like tear up or anything, and again, I just don't think it goes as deep as the first film, just because the entire tone of the movie is a lot lighter. So it's definitely different, but I don't think it's in a bad way. It's just its own thing. It has me really confused, because all the reviews I read before this are saying, oh, I don't think this movie justifies its own existence, it's just retreading the first movie. I don't see that at all, honestly. It feels different, it feels unique, and I understand why they made the sequel, and I will honestly take an Inside Out 3 and 4. One thing I really missed from the first film was her relationship with the parents and just them in general, because they're barely in this, which I guess was probably intentional, because in your teenage years you're kind of going to a different way and wanting to be separate from your parents. Maybe the movie would have felt a little bit overstuffed trying to add in another storyline with them, but I just was kind of missing. I feel like they needed at least one more scene to see how they were handling what was happening with Riley. Overall, I think Pixar is really getting back on track with this, and I would honestly be excited to see an Inside Out 3 with her in her high school years, and then an Inside Out 4 of her as an adult. I feel like there's some really interesting stuff they could do with that. If you've seen it, let me know what you'd rate it 1 through 10. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10.